Alright, quick tutorial on knocking out one of these Davco 382s. I've already installed the drain line off the bottom. There's a handle back here to open this up. That's your drain. I've got an old coolant bottle. I've already drained this out. Use a large pair of channel locks shown over there. Loosen this up. This little guy is going to come out first. So normally the fuel is going to be up around here or so. So just so you know, I'll set this over here. There's our big channel locks we used. We use a dedicated tool for it, but I don't have it in the truck, so channel locks works. It's really not all that big a deal to get this thing off. Again, there's a dedicated tool for this. It sucks, and I don't use it. This is difficult with one hand. Get that bowl loosened up. Remember, I already drained the fuel out. Make sure there's no fuel rocking out of there. It's going to pop up a little bit. Oh, still got a little fuel in there. So I'm draining this fuel out. You'll see I've got a clear tube on here. I leave it on there. It's coming out way too slowly, which tells me there's something plugged up in that valve. And once we get enough fuel out of here, we don't want fuel coming around the filter housing. That was not ideal. So we'll sit here and drain this out for a couple of minutes, get it nice and low. We'll come back. So now we got enough fuel drained out. I'll spin this bad boy off. Comes out like that. Easy peasy. Set this over here for a moment. Right back here's your nice, not only dirty filter. Sorry for the crappy camera work. So see that filter's nice and heavy. And also see, if you look at the line, top of the filter's clean, and then as you get progressively further down, it gets dark and black. It's going to be from your biodiesel, maybe other contaminants, but usually the bio. Fuel itself in there doesn't look too bad, but I've got something clogged up in the drain, so I'm going to bag this filter. It literally just lifts off like this, and then we're going to put it in some plastic bags. Alright, whole filter's tied up in 2 plastic bags. Here's the inside of your filter. You can kind of see through the fuel down there. And I'm going to see if I can get that valve cleaned up to get this drained out. So give me just a moment. I'm just going to use, I've got a cutoff from a large zip tie. I'm going to use that to poke down in here, like here. So you can get all that garbage open up so I can drain the fuel out. Alright, so the old giant zip tie did the trick. Got her cleaned out and drained. It's going to have some garbage down there. That's okay. That's its purpose. And we're going to put the new filter together. Alright, new filter. Fleet card FF5369. A lot of other options. Make sure you get your O-rings out. One of the O-rings usually is shoved in here. The little one. So make sure you get it out. Putting this thing together, it's a piece of cake. Just spin it on. Make sure it's sitting on that little nozzle down there. That would be a Porsche. Sounds cool. Now you want to get it set up. You'll notice there's numbers on here. I usually set up so the numbers are kind of sticking out. You still see the part number. And this is kind of your gauge as to where your filter is. So keep it right there. And then we'll switch the O-rings out real quick. You'll notice you've got a square one and a round one right here, depending on what O-ring goes in your housing. So you knock this ring off here. O-ring's going to be inside there. You can see it right there. Switch it out. A little O-ring goes around this cap. Put it back together, fill it with fuel. Alright, new O-rings put on. Installation, we'll just pop it all back together. Let's do this with one hand. Usually can. There's a spring in here, so I have to make sure this is seated down. Make sure before you screw that together. That'll require 2 hands. Make sure your O-ring is seated nice and square. Holding it down with my hand, otherwise it'll pop up. So there's a spring right there. So we just drop this down, boom, like that. Use your other hand to spin it on. Do not let off on this pressure until that ring is seated all the way down. So I've got this seated all the way down. Notice it doesn't wobble much, so we're going to put a little tension on this. Don't go crazy with it. And then fill this up with fuel until about number 7 or 6. And then lastly, we put our cap on. You should have the new version, which is the hand thread. If you got the old one with the notches, get rid of it. Spin this down, click. That's as tight as it's got to get. Start it up. This fuel only dropped down a little bit. That's okay. It's still got this whole bowl down here before it runs out of fuel. If it drops down way far in there, maybe put a little bit more fuel, but as this filter gets more plugged, this fuel level is going to rise. There you go. You're done. Okay, one final thing I did not mention. When you tighten up that ring, you're going to use whatever tool you used to remove it. Don't tighten it too much, just enough to keep it from leaking fuel. Also, if you have to add fuel after the fact, shut the engine off before you remove that plug up top. You could drain it too far and wind up pulling air into the system and having bigger problems. So that's it. You guys are ready to go. You could do this in about 10 minutes anywhere. Be safe, good luck, and we'll see you later.